What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video where we will talk about the fact that Liverpool have opened talks with Schalke over the transfer of a very talented Turkish international centre-back Ozan Kabak. He could be available for £20 million. But first, let's talk about Liverpool's injury crisis because we have some brand new injury concerns for Liverpool, which doesn't sound very good. But guys, if you enjoyed these videos, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest Liverpool transfer news updates. So Jordan Henderson had to be taken off in England's 2-0 defeat to Belgium. At halftime he was taken off. Gareth Southgate said that it was more of a precaution because he felt tightness in one of his muscles. So Henderson is also a doubt for the Leicester game. The Liverpool players are just dropping like flies. Jordan Henderson is one injury concern. Andy Robertson is another. He missed Scotland's 1-0 defeat, I think, away to Slovakia, where Robertson got injured. He basically had a tight hamstring after Scotland went through to the Euros. Congratulations to Scotland. So Robertson is also injured. So now Liverpool's first choice back four, Trent, Joe Gomez, Van Dijk and Andy Robertson are all out injured. And also Jordan Henderson, our captain, is out injured. Salah is recovering still from COVID. So Liverpool missing half of our first team. Hopefully Thiago and Fabinho will be back. So the Mirror newspaper is reporting that Liverpool have opened talks with Schalke over Ozan Kabak transfer for a reported £20 million because Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp are very keen to bring in a defensive reinforcement, even though David Ornstein shared on Twitter that Liverpool are not actively looking for a centre-back. But if you know how Liverpool are treating the transfer market, how Liverpool are behaving in the transfer market, we never openly reveal our targets, especially not to the English media. We said, like the English media said all summer, that Liverpool are not interested in Thiago, and in the end Liverpool signed Thiago. So don't believe David Ornstein that Liverpool are not looking to bring in a centre-back. It would be absolute lunacy, craziness if Liverpool were not looking at a centre-back. And even the journalists previously reported that Liverpool almost signed Ozan Kabak in the summer, but decided against it because we still wanted to look at our options. Schalke valued Ozan Kabak at £40 million before the pandemic, but since then, of course, Schalke has had a horrendous defensive record. They conceded 8 goals in their opening game against Bayern, and overall they have one of the worst defenses in the Bundesliga. So that is a little bit of a concern, but Ozan Kabak is just a 20-year-old centre-back. The big question is, should Liverpool really bring in a youngster to come in and help? Is Ozan Kabak that much better than Nathaniel Phillips and Reece Williams? He's certainly more experienced. He already played in the Bundesliga for a couple of seasons, and he also is a Turkish international. Turkey recently beat Russia 3-2 in a Nations League game. So it looks like Schalke will lower their asking price to £20 million because Schalke also are in a financial trouble because of the pandemic. Schalke lost around £100 million, and they want to sell some of their star players to make up the balance, make up the financial loss because of the pandemic. Schalke signed Ozan Kabak for £13 million 1.5 years ago when they triggered Ozan Kabak's release clause. He was playing at Stuttgart at the time, and Ozan Kabak was born in Ankara, Turkey. He came through the ranks at Galatasaray. He even became league champion at Galatasaray. He played there for a few seasons, and he also played 4 times for the Turkish national team. So after Galatasaray he moved to Germany, and now that both Van Dijk and Joe Gomez has undergone surgery, it's very, very unlikely that they will return before the end of the season. Maybe Joe Gomez will return in like April, but Liverpool can't go into the whole season with like Joel Matip is our only fit senior centre-back. And yes, Fabinho can play centre-back, but it's not an ideal situation. And also Matip is very injury prone. He played like 4 games this whole calendar year. In like 1 year he played like 4 or 5 games for Liverpool. So can we really rely on Matip to play every week? But what is also very concerning about Ozan Kabak, and we absolutely have to talk about this, is that Kabak currently is serving a 5-game ban because he was found to have a spat at Werder Bremen left back Augustinsson in Schalke's 3-1 loss to Werder Bremen. And Kabak insisted that he is innocent, that it was an accident, and that the TV angle gives a deceptive view of the incident. And also he said that he never did that before and won't do it in the future. But in the middle of the pandemic, to see yourself on TV spitting at an opponent is the worst look possible. So I'm not sure if Liverpool will go in and sign him. In his absence, however, 19-year-old Malik Theo also has emerged as a new favorite in Schalke, in Gelsenkirchen, and he also scored the opening goal in his second consecutive start, a 1-1 draw with Stuttgart last time out. Theo is likely to keep his place, but it remains to be seen whether Kabak will be immediately reinstated on his return to eligibility. It could provide a national transition as Theo continues to partner Nastasic and Salif Sane at the back. The Bild newspaper is also claiming that Schalke will not rule out a high-profile sale in January, and that Kabak is the hottest candidate. So Kabak is the most likely player to be sold by Schalke in the January transfer window. Schalke's sporting director Jochen Schneider also told the newspaper earlier this week that Kabak was subject of a bid from AC Milan at the very end of the transfer window in the summer. Schalke rejected the bid due to the timing of it, and it was out of the question that they would sell Kabak right at the end of the transfer window. And Bild referenced this, and they also add that while Milan's offer of around 20 million euros was turned down, an acceptance that clubs are unlikely to meet the 45 million euro release clause that kicks in next summer could see Schalke accept a similar bid in January. So yeah, it looks like Schalke will accept a 20-25 million euro bid in January for Ozan Kabak, and I really hope that Liverpool go in and sign one centre-back at least in the January transfer window. My choice would be David Alaba because he's very versatile. He can play left-back, he can play centre-back, he can play defensive midfield, and I think he even can play right-back. He played in many various positions. This season Alaba is playing as a centre-back for Bayern Munich. And what really surprised me, and also it made me quite upset, is that a Catalan newspaper, Sport, is reporting that Barcelona are going to try and sign Joel Matip in the January transfer window, as if Liverpool would sell their only fit senior centre-back to Barcelona in the January transfer window. Ronald Koeman is looking for a new 4th choice centre-half, so if Matip wouldn't even start regularly for Barcelona, and every game when he is fit, Matip will start for Liverpool. Maybe not every game, but like once every week until he is fit, Matip will play for Liverpool 100%. And it's pretty obvious that Liverpool will not entertain or the idea of selling Joel Matip. They will not even sit down to negotiate with Barcelona. And of course, hindsight is everything in life and in football, and Liverpool shouldn't have sold Dejan Lovren, but who could have predicted Van Dijk, Gomez and Fabinho all getting injured at the same time? It's a very unfortunate situation. So Matip is one of the best defenders in Europe on his day when he is fit and available. And yes, he struggles with fitness, but he's an even more important part of Liverpool's squad than before. So I just can't see Matip sitting on the bench for Barcelona when he could play every week for Liverpool. And I can't see Liverpool allowing that to happen. There is no chance. And Kenny Dalglish actually gave a very good interview on Liverpool's options at centre-back. He said, "It's difficult for anybody to step in this current situation, but at 19 years of age, Reece Williams didn't do too badly against Atalanta. He was there, he stood up, the first header cleared everybody out and made sure it was his. And Nat Phillips did well in the game against West Ham at Anfield. To whether they are ready long term, it remains to be seen. but Nathaniel Phillips was over in Germany on loan last season and did really well, so maybe he's a little bit more experienced than Rhys Williams. As I say though, you've got a couple of choices there. They will want to play. It might not be perfect timing for them because the next game is difficult against Leicester, but Jurgen Klopp gets most of his decisions right, and I have no doubt that he will get this one right too, and that's my hope as well, that Jurgen Klopp gets a lot of things right as a Liverpool manager. And what is also interesting is that former Southampton president Ralph Kruger has hailed Jurgen Klopp as one of the greatest coaches in all of sports, and he actually hailed the Liverpool boss for his passion and his honesty. This is what he said: "I once had a long chat with Jurgen Klopp that was on the sidelines of a game in Liverpool. He knows very well that with Southampton and Virgil van Dijk, we are also indirectly part of the development in Liverpool." When we talk about Jurgen Klopp, we also have to talk about the owners of Liverpool. I also got to know them during my time in England. They had the necessary patience and allowed Jurgen to go on his own way and build up his culture and his team at Liverpool. Today, everyone only sees the great successes of the last few years, but these successes did not come overnight. A few years ago, Liverpool only played in the Europa League. People tend to forget that. I am most impressed by Jurgen Klopp's honest culture. People have a say with him. He doesn't work with pressure or fear. Jurgen leads with love and honesty. In addition, there is a very clear plan behind the emotionality and passion, a very clear culture. Also, Jurgen works in such a way that he wants to keep learning personally. For me, he's one of the greatest coaches at the moment in all of sports. That is a very glowing reference at Jurgen Klopp and what he achieved at Liverpool, so I really enjoyed this interview. According to James Pearce, who is reporting at The Athletic, he used to report for the Liverpool Echo, he's a Liverpool-based journalist, and he reported that Jurgen Klopp was very keen on signing a new centre-half over the summer, so we suspect that these plans will be accelerated. And I think that this report by David Ornstein that Liverpool are not interested in signing a centre-back in January. I mean, right now when we have Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez out for at least 5 months, they are both out with serious knee injuries. I mean, that just leaves Matip and Fabinho to play as Liverpool's defensive partnership for the rest of the season. Can you see that happening, that Matip and Fabinho will play every single game? And yes, we have Rhys Williams, yes, we have Nathaniel Phillips, but can we expect Premier League rookies, Premier League newcomers to play every week to the level which is required for Liverpool to sustain a title challenge? I think Liverpool absolutely have no choice but to sign a brand new centre-back, and I really, really hope that we do that. Otherwise, Liverpool will be well short, because what if we have an injury to Matip, which is like almost certain to happen sooner or later? What if Fabinho gets injured again? Then Liverpool will have to play Rhys Williams and Nathaniel Phillips against the likes of like Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City. Can you imagine that? I don't think that Liverpool would be seriously contending for the title if that was the case, if we have to play 2 rookie centre-backs for a large period of the season. And before we end this video, I just want to share an interview that Trent did, and he was talking about possibly the best footballer to ever play, Lionel Messi. This is what he said: even if Messi is not anywhere near the ball, he's always in your thought process. You are trying to play your game, trying to attack, but he's always in your mind, because you know if they can get the ball to him, then anything can happen. He can do anything from anywhere on the pitch. Even if he's not looking your way, you are concentrating, because he can see things that you can't. You have to try and see the whole pitch. He sees things quicker than anyone. He can read what a defender is going to do and just sidestep them as if they are not even there. A lot of the time it's like he's just playing against mannequins, going around them, going through them. To be honest, he could be in 5 or 6 of these categories. For 15 years he has been doing things that have never been seen before. He doesn't have a weakness. There's nothing I haven't seen him do, and for that reason he's the best player ever. If I ever see anyone anywhere near him, then I will count myself lucky. Oh my goodness, yeah, I really think that Trent has a good point here. But with Barcelona on the decline, Messi's years, I think, are numbered at Barcelona, and I think he will leave next summer, but that remains to be seen, and that's a whole another topic. I don't want to get too much into that. I would love to see actually Liverpool getting Barcelona in the Champions League knockout stages again, but not before Liverpool sign another centre back, and not before hopefully Matip, Fabinho and another centre back will be fit and available for Liverpool, because without the really good centre backs we have very little chance against Barcelona. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys.